Okay, so we all know who Donald Trump is, the business mogul with the horrible comb-over, the unlikely 45th president of the United States, the 73-year-old man who needs Twitter permanently taken away from him. But did you know that Trump was once a proponent of multi-level marketing? Trump's history as a hunbro is actually quite extensive and dates back to the mid-2000s and lasted until 2015 when he announced his presidential campaign. In 2006, he even co-authored a book with Robert Kiyosaki called Why We Want You to Be Rich, in which he dedicated an entire section on network marketing. In the book, Trump states that network marketing has proven itself to be a viable and rewarding source of income. While the research would argue with Trump on that point, as a study conducted by the Federal Trade Commission concluded that 99.7% of those involved in MLMs don't make any money or actually lose money. Trump's direct involvement with MLMs was manifested in two MLM companies, the Trump Network and ACN. Both companies have somewhat of a sordid past, so let's dive into their backstory and how Trump eventually became involved. In 1997, three businessmen, Lou DiCaprio and brothers Scott and Todd Stanwood, founded a multi-level marketing company they named Ideal Health. The three men were inspired to start an MLM company because their wives have drove them into selling for Nu Skin, a supplements and personal care products MLM that's actually still around today. They saw how successful Nu Skin had become as a company, and they also wanted a slice of the triangular-shaped pie. Ideal Health sold various health supplements and products, but their primary gimmick was called the Private Test and Prime Essentials Kit. For only $79.95, you could purchase a testing kit containing 3 laboratory vials, a FedEx envelope, and a return shipping label. The intention was to have the customer collect a urine sample, ship it back to the company so they could determine your cellular function by measuring critical metabolic markers, and then Ideal Health would formulate specific supplements for you based on your personal biochemistry, and ship them to you for only $59.95 monthly. You heard that right. This MLM made its money by having people ship them their pee. Not only is this pretty weird, but it's also totally bogus. According to an article written by medical doctor Stephen Barrett for Quackwatch, urine tests do not provide a legitimate basis for recommending that people take dietary supplements. Furthermore, according to the FDA, while some supplements can be beneficial, the FDA only requires that companies ensure that their products are safe for consumption. There is absolutely no regulation to ensure that any supplement is effective. Fast forward to 2009 when Donald Trump decided it was time to dabble in the world of network marketing. Which MLM company do you think Trump decided to partner with? You got that right, the P one. Trump rebranded the entire company and renamed it the Trump Network. The private test kit and supplements persisted through the rebranding, and the company added products such as children's health snacks, energy drinks, and weight loss products. To no surprise, having Trump's name attached to the company was quite lucrative. By the end of 2010, the Trump Network had grown by 373%. Trump's entry into the MLM world couldn't have come at a more opportune time. For him. Between 2007 and 2009, the U.S. experienced a massive economic downturn, now referred to as a Great Recession, in which many lost their jobs, homes, and savings. Trump took advantage of this fact and marketed the MLM opportunity with the Trump Network as a rescue and recovery program for those affected by the Great Recession.
The Trump Network wants to give millions of people renewed hope and with an exciting plan to opt out of the recession. Let's get out of this recession right now. With cutting-edge health and wellness formulas and a system where you can develop your own financial independence, the Trump Network offers people the opportunity to achieve their American dream. I'm still looking for dreams. I'm doing damn well in life, but I'm still looking for the dream. It's a winning combination because it means you and your family can benefit financially from our breakthrough program. Follow our step-by-step success system that will help you grow your business.
Trump was literally trying to sell hope to those who had lost everything, and people desperate for hope were taking the bait. The Trump Network strategy was similar to any other MLM in its attempts to win you over with promises of better health, financial freedom, and more time at home. But its blatant play on the economic turmoil of the time was unique and I don't believe done by any other MLM. Additionally, the startup costs to become a distributor were higher than average. To receive wholesale discounts, status as a distributor, marketing materials, the private test kit, and a basic assortment of product, you would need to shell out $500. For reference, most starter kits in MLM companies are around $100. Although the Trump Network was extremely successful at first, that success was very short-lived. According to those involved at the time, the company was unprepared for the massive expansion, and its success ultimately led to its downfall. Distributors slowly started falling away and others stopped receiving their commission checks. Those still involved began questioning the company as to why they weren't making any money despite putting in long hours of hard work. To which DiCaprio responded, "Many times, if people aren't having success in recruiting, it has to do with them not believing in themselves." Lawsuits were filed against the company and Trump himself, many of which are still ongoing cases. The company owners, DiCaprio and the Stanwood brothers, filed for bankruptcy and lost their 8,000 square foot home they shared together north of Boston. Trump did not renew his branding agreement with the company when his contract ended in 2011, and in 2012, what was left of the Trump network was sold to another MLM company called Bioseutica. Fortunately, if you're just dying to ship your pee to a scammy company to have it analyzed, you can still do that as Bioseutica is still in operation. But I wouldn't suggest it. As for the Trump network, it seems as though their exciting opportunity to opt out of the recession was nothing more than a ploy to take advantage of downtrodden Americans during a difficult economic climate. Trump has since steered clear of branding another MLM with his family name, but the Trump network flop didn't stop him at serving as a spokesman for another company called American Communications Network, later shortened to just ACN as the company expanded globally. ACN was founded in 1993 by four businessmen, Robert Stefanovsky, Gregory Provenzano, and Anthony and Michael Cupits. Like the founders of Ideal Health, the founders of ACN also had a prior history of involvement with network marketing. However, the founders of ACN weren't inspired by the MLM companies they were involved with, and instead were dissatisfied with the opportunities that these companies offered. So the four men decided to create an MLM company of their own, and legend has it, to formulate their business strategy, they took a yellow legal pad and wrote down on one side of the paper everything they knew that worked in business, and on the other side everything they knew that didn't. They tore the paper in half and only kept the side that contained everything they knew that worked. This became their guiding principles, as it were, for their new company: integrity, solid business practices, and this is the kicker, putting the needs of the masses above the needs of themselves. ACN started out as a marketing branch for a reseller of long-distance telecommunications called LCI, which was eventually absorbed by Quest Communications. ACN's marketing strategy, utilizing what they termed as independent business owners, or IBOs, was actually pretty profitable for the company. And by 1998, ACN was listed as number 22 of the 500 fastest-growing companies in the US. Over the years, ACN has expanded their company both in the services they offer and the countries they operate in. Today, ACN specializes in telecommunications, high-speed internet, energy, security and automation, and television, and offers some or all of these services in 26 countries. To become an IBO, you have to make an initial investment of $499. Again, this is an unusually high initial buy-in for the MLM world, and this initial investment basically just gives you access to some of their marketing materials, a personal website, a list of potential customers, and IBO and customer support services. Now that we have ACN's backstory out of the way, you may be wondering exactly how was Trump involved with his company. Trump's involvement with ACN actually began prior to and during his business venture with the Trump network, and continued long after the Trump network failed. Trump was essentially a spokesman for the company, appearing in several promotional videos and gave motivational speeches at ACN conferences between 2006 and up until he launched his presidential campaign. Trump even featured ACN in his highly popular TV series, The Apprentice, in which he praised ACN's new product at the time called the video phone. Spoiler alert, the video phone was a major bust. Although Trump was less directly involved with ACN than he was with the Trump network, the involvement he did have with ACN has been highly criticized by the public. Some critics noted that he seemed to make a large amount of money from his promotional stints, especially considering the average IBO made only $500 per year. According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump made millions of dollars over the course of the nearly 10 years he shilled for the company. Throughout 2014 and 2015, Trump gave 3 separate speeches for ACN in which he made $450,000 per speech. I do understand that the Trump name garners a certain amount of prestige, and having him promote any company will come with a hefty price tag. I do have a problem with him making millions off of a business model that has from time and time again been shown to prey on vulnerable people while making a few at the top filthy rich. While Trump made millions promoting ACN, the majority of those who were involved probably never made a single cent and lost any money they invested. More criticism of Trump's connection with ACN came in 2015 when Trump announced his presidential bid and completely distanced himself from the company. When asked by the Wall Street Journal about his involvement with ACN, he acted as though he knew little about the company. He stated, "I know nothing about the company other than the people who run the company. I'm not familiar with what they do or how they go about doing it." Never mind the fact that years prior, Trump had this to say during an interview with ACN founder Gregory Provenzano.
You know, I am asked to do this, what you're doing with me, many, many times. And I turn down many, many different proposals because for one reason, I don't have the time. But for another reason, I don't like the company. And we do a lot of research on companies before we agreed to do something like I'm doing for you. And ACN's a great company. I would say knowledge is so important, especially when you're dealing in high-tech kind of things like you do. You know, in my business, it's real estate. If I get the good location, if I get this, if I get that, certain things sort of work. With ACN, it's really knowledge. And one of the beauties with ACN that I've been able to determine after some research is that you guys have stayed ahead of the pack. You've stayed ahead of them from a technological standpoint, from a knowledge standpoint.
Trump himself stated that he had thoroughly researched the company, so clearly he did at some point know all about the company, how they do what they do, and how they go about doing it. He also had been heavily involved with an MLM of his own, the Trump Network, so he must know how MLMs operate. And he had been promoting ACN through starring in advertisements and giving speeches for almost 10 years, giving him ample time to become acutely familiar with the company. So I'm calling bullshit. Just like the Trump Network and most MLM companies, ACN has had its fair share of lawsuits. In 2018, a lawsuit was filed against not only Donald Trump, but against his children Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, for attempting to lure the plaintiffs in the case into a scheme in which they were sure to lose money while the Trumps made off with millions. According to one plaintiff, only referred to as Jane Doe, she joined ACN after attending a recruitment seminar in which a promotional video of Trump was played. She was immediately sold on ACN as she believed surely Donald Trump, the world-renowned businessman, would only promote a legitimate business and that he must have had her best interests at heart. Jane Doe continued to attend ACN conferences, in which she spent thousands and thousands of dollars. In the end, she only made $38 as an IBO for ACN. For now, it seems that Trump has left the world of multi-level marketing behind him. Although it must be noted that Trump's pick for Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, has an extensive history with one of the world's largest MLM companies, Amway, which we can't even begin to delve into in this video. So can a connection be made between the manipulative tactics that Trump may have learned from multi-level marketing and his current style of political persuasion? I will leave that up to the viewer. The important lesson that can be learned here is that just because an MLM company uses a well-known public figure in their promotional material, even someone who is supposedly business savvy, doesn't make it any more likely you will make money in this type of scheme. There are no alternative facts here. Thank you for watching my video, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Say bye.